Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 1 day time frame for Bitcoin, because I'm going to start with a bit of high time frame analysis and then dive into the shorter term later on in this video. Now, the reason I'm starting on the high time frame today is because I just want to appreciate how beautiful this descending channel pattern has been on my YouTube channel here for the past like 5 months or so. We have been nailing this market here. First of all, we were very early to catch that this was actually a descending channel that we were in fact in. We have just been nailing these lows over and over again and nailing these highs. And now over the last couple of weeks, we have seen this beautiful breakout, retest, and now resumption from there. Currently, we are close to about 70,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price, even though many times when we were trading at these lows, people were saying that the bull market was over, that the bear market had already started. And I kept saying over and over again that we had not lost this as a level of support. So therefore, it was very early to start talking about a potential bear market. And the base case expectation on the channel this entire time has been that we were basically going to keep chopping this range here and eventually break out of the top of this descending channel, likely to eventually reach all-time highs once again. Now, so far we have seen everything except all-time highs. However, honestly, this is now starting to look pretty good. And obviously today we got a nice little pump to the upside here. Besides that, if I take a look at this pattern here, we have a cup and handle pattern with a breakout price target at about 80,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. Now, again, we saw breakout, retest, resumption here, did not invalidate because we didn't close below the point of the breakout. And therefore, currently we are still targeting 80,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. Now, do keep in mind that something like this is still entirely possible. So I'm not saying we need to go to 80K here, because if we, for example, do something like this, where we start getting daily candle closes below the point of the breakout, then to me, that will be some kind of short-term bearish signal here. And my tone would probably shift to be quite a bit more bearish in that scenario. But for now, that is not the case. And therefore, I don't see any reason to be bearish here. Do keep in mind that that is obviously not financial advice, but I'm simply showing you what I am seeing in the charts, and you can do with that information what you like. Now, if we actually zoom out to the weekly time frame, we check back in with this RSI momentum indicator, we have also beautifully caught this breakout right here, because as I have been talking about for a couple months at this point, basically we were in this RSI momentum downtrend for Bitcoin while we were in this consolidation, and the expectation here the entire time has been that eventually we would break out above this trend line here and then likely start making new highs in the RSI. And we actually perfectly nailed this point of the breakout as a momentum shift for Bitcoin that would likely coincide with a breakout above the descending channel. If you actually take a look at where that momentum shift happened, it was right here with these two weekly candles. So we perfectly caught this breakout and momentum shift on the RSI here that has so far already led to a 27% move to the upside. One more thing to note here is that on this RSI momentum indicator, there is still quite a bit of room to the upside before we reach overbought territory. So again, this points towards having an open mind about higher prices for Bitcoin over the next couple weeks and months. Now, do keep in mind that there's a difference between the different time frames. So just because we're in a 1 week uptrend doesn't mean that we can have pullbacks and stuff like that along the way on the lower time frames. For example, here you saw about a 9% move to the downside in a single day. So obviously stuff like that is possible when we are talking about the higher time frames. So again, that is why it is important to understand the difference between the different time frames. Now, if you are interested to learn more about how I do my technical analysis that I do in these videos here, so you can do it yourself, I have actually created a free trading course that you can sign up completely for free on rt1m.com. There is no catch to this or something like this. It is actually completely free. It's over an hour of educational content. So if that is something you're interested in, go check it out. Either way, that is not what today's video is about. So now let's dive into the short term for Bitcoin, looking at this 4-hour time frame. Currently, we are still trading inside this big level of resistance from about 67.5K all the way up to 70,000 US dollars. Breaking above 70K would point towards this big level of resistance above that from about 71 all the way up to 73K. So those are some levels to watch. And of course, this big level of support is sitting from 66K all the way down to 65,000 US dollars. But of course, there will be some short-term levels of support in between the current price and the 65 to 66K level here. Some levels that I'm currently watching is this recent swing high to swing low, of course, on the wicks for the Fibonacci retracement levels here. So these are some levels we could look towards for some potential support and resistance. Now we do have this one Fibonacci level that is sitting at about 68.8K for the Bitcoin price. So basically right around these previous highs, where in the case we would get a bit of a pullback, we could see some kind of support at this level. More likely would be to find some support at this 68.1K level, because we do have a bit more price action around this area here. So those are some short-term levels of support to watch. However, we also have this 1.618 Fibonacci level sitting at about 70.9K for the Bitcoin price. And in the case that this run-up really continues here, this could be an area of resistance to watch out for in the short term. Now, besides that, we have also seen quite a run-up here over the last couple days. And when I see a big run-up, I always look towards the short-term RSI momentum indicator, because as you can see right here, we are now quite close to overbought territory on that 4-hour time frame. We only just touched it here, so I guess there is a little bit more room to the upside. But if we really start to see this spike up here and reach deep into overbought territory, then likely we will start to have to see this cool off a little bit. Now, the way the RSI actually resets is either by some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bearish momentum in the short term, but the RSI isn't really pointing towards a highly needed reset right now or anything. So what I'm saying is there is still some room to the upside before we would really need to see some kind of reset. I'm also a little bit cautious saying that we need to see some RSI resetting like this, because we are at the start of a new trading week, and usually we have a lot of volatility during the weekdays and low volume and low volatility over the weekend. So usually it is easier to say if we are, for example, on Friday evening or something like that, that over the weekend we will see the RSI reset down like this, whereas at the start of the trading week, potentially it could end up being something like this, right? Where we don't fully reset down to that 50 level. Either way, this has been today's market update. Don't forget to check out the free trading course if you want to learn more about how to do technical analysis like I do in my videos. Either way, if you do end up checking it out or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.